happy Thursday, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractors Show, as well as Atlas Roofing. Thank you guys, as always, for sponsoring our videos. So let's get right into our weather headlines. We do have some isolated storms possible today from Wisconsin to parts of Nebraska all the way down to northwestern Kansas. So we'll talk about that in more detail. And then getting into tomorrow, we will have a few areas that we'll be watching for severe weather as well. Looks pretty marginal at this time, but there are multiple areas that we'll be watching. And then lastly, we will jump into the tropics to see what is going on with potential tropical cyclone 2, and if there are any other areas that we need to watch. Before we get into the forecast, we do have one event coming up. This is going to be down in Daytona Beach, Florida from July 19th to the 22nd. It is the Florida Roofing and Sheet Metal Expo. They are celebrating 100 years. That's pretty exciting. More information can be found at www.floridaroof.com. So here are yesterday's storm reports. We did see a good amount of activity, especially in terms of wind across the northern plains. We saw some scattered activity as well in the southwestern part of the U.S. as well as into the southeast. But you can see we're going to zoom on into this big cluster of reports that happened in South Dakota, parts of Nebraska, northern parts of Wyoming, stretching to the north, and parts of southern North Dakota, as well as some activity in Minnesota. And this is still considered Minnesota. We do have a few two-star maps available for this activity, so make sure you go online and make sure, if you're a subscriber, that you have access to those maps. And yeah, like I said, a few scatter reports here down in Arizona, and then parts of southern Georgia and the northern parts of Florida. So here are current conditions across the lower 48. For the most part, pretty nice across the central part of the U.S. going down into the Ohio Valley. We do have a few areas of disturbances. The first one is up here in the northern plains. We have a cold front that is basically draped from central Wisconsin down to southeastern Minnesota. Some showers and a rumble thunder or two is occurring right now with this line. Nothing severe at this time, but that could change this afternoon and evening. And then we have a disturbance. It's not named or anything, just a disturbance here in the Gulf of Mexico, bringing in some heavier precipitation just to the southeast of Houston. That's going to be moving on to the north, and then some more tropical moisture here in the southern part of the Gulf Coast states as well. So here are current temperatures across the country. For the most part, we are right now at the moment not too bad, but you can see these temperatures are starting to warm up, getting into the mid 80s, 85 in Kansas City, 83 here in Minneapolis, 87 in Fort Wayne. So you can see these temperatures are starting to increase a little bit. So we're going to start to see that higher heat return, not just today, but over the next few days. We are 93 already in Dallas and 89 down in Miami. And taking a look at our dew points, you can see they're starting to creep up a little bit as we head further north. So 60 in Minneapolis for a dew point, 52 in St. Louis. We'll go further south, though, in the Mississippi Valley, the Tennessee Valley down to the Gulf Coast. You can see those dew points are getting up into the mid to upper 60s and even into the mid 70s. It's really sticky in New Orleans right now with a 76-degree dew point there. So here is our future radar for today. Again, one particular run of this one particular model. There are some showers ongoing right now, and those will continue to move on to the east-southeast. And then as we get to about 6 p.m. Central Time, you can see a few storms will try to develop along and ahead of that cold front, as well as a few storms in the western parts of Nebraska. And then as we continue to go through the evening, you can see some more widely scattered storms are expected to develop in central Wisconsin, as well as in Nebraska. And then getting into later in the evening and the overnight hours, still some very widely scattered storms. So the coverage today is not going to be very great. It's going to be very isolated in nature. And as we get into the overnight hours, you can see this complex of storms will be developing and moving on to the east. So we can possibly see some storms as we wake up tomorrow morning in Omaha. So here is today's hail forecast, sponsored by See-Through Group. Again, from Wisconsin, the northern parts of the upper part of Michigan, all the way down to Iowa and Nebraska, down to the northwestern parts of Kansas. It's just going to be, again, a very isolated chance today. Not a whole lot of storms are expected to develop, but if we do get those storms to develop, up to half-dollar size hail is expected or possible, from Minneapolis to Madison, southwest to Omaha. Omaha, it'll be later on tonight. Westward to North Platte and down to Colby. We could see some golf ball size hail, maybe just avoiding those major populated cities near the Nebraska-Kansas border. Otherwise, again, up to half-dollar size hail is possible across this region. And then in terms of wind, anywhere from 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts are possible with the strongest storms. We're going to keep it mostly just low end chance across the board, except for La Crosse. We could have a better chance if we can get those storms going. Otherwise, low chances from Minneapolis to Madison, southwest to Omaha, North Platte, and Colby. So getting into tomorrow, we do have a few areas that we're going to be watching for severe weather. It doesn't look like it's going to be too crazy of a day, but I believe I have 3 radars to look at for tomorrow, as we have, again, multiple areas. The first one is right here in Black Hills region in South Dakota, so Rapid City. We're going to wake up. There could be a few showers around, but then as we get into tomorrow afternoon, this is 3 p.m. Central Time, so 2 p.m. Mountain Time, we will start to see some storms develop in parts of Wyoming, and those will start to move off to the east and really pick up in intensity as they get that lift from those mountain regions. So we could see a few stronger storms here moving through the Black Hills region, and those will continue to move off to the east-southeast. This is at midnight tomorrow night. North Platte, you can get in on some more severe weather potential. This, you can see here, is more linear, so it looks like by then it will most likely be more of a wind threat than hail. And then getting into tomorrow night, that will continue to move on to the east-southeast. So then we have Kansas City. Again, another marginal chance, nothing too crazy. And I think your chances are going to be later tomorrow night and getting into the overnight on Saturday morning. So just a few showers will be around tomorrow evening, and then getting into later on in the evening, you can see all that activity to your west in parts of Kansas as well as Nebraska. So this is midnight tomorrow, basically Saturday morning. We will then continue to see the activity move off to the east, and we'll have a marginal chance to see some, nothing too crazy, maybe a quarter to half-dollar size hail as we wake up on Saturday at 7 a.m. And then lastly, we have a chance tomorrow to see some severe weather in the northeast with that cold front that's going to continue to move off to the east. We'll wake up, it'll be relatively quiet, just a few showers possible here in southwestern Pennsylvania, as well as into Michigan and into Canada. But you can see as we get into the afternoon, that cold front will tap into that moisture and that heat, and a few storms are possible as we get into tomorrow evening, as well as getting into the overnight hours. You can see that cold front there will be pushing into New York and Pennsylvania, as well as into north central Ohio. So Cleveland, you can get a rumble thunder or two with this. And then getting into the overnight hours from tomorrow night into Saturday morning, we can still see some moderately heavy showers and maybe a rumble of thunder as we wake up on Saturday. So let's break it all down for you. Taking a look at those multiple areas. This is sponsored by American Contractor Show. Again, we have 3 areas that we're going to be watching for hail. Nothing too crazy in terms of size. I think the first one here in Rapid City, as of right now, I'm just keeping it at $half size. This could go up as we get more information getting into tomorrow. We have to see though. But Rapid City, you have a chance to see some severe hail tomorrow. And then Kansas City, like I mentioned, that's going to be a later threat, I believe, as we get into late tomorrow night into early Saturday morning. And then lastly, we have a low chance to see $1.25 to $half size hail with that cold front pushing through from Rochester to Syracuse down to State College, westward to Pittsburgh. And then in terms of a wind, same deal, same 3 areas. I think the one here in the west is going to be a bit larger, as we saw in that model run, that line of storms that's going to be firing and getting through central Nebraska. So I did extend the wind a little bit further to the southeast. So Rapid City down to North Platte, you guys have a low end chance to see anywhere from 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with any storms that do move through your area. I think some of the stronger storms may just stay to your north of North Platte. We have to see where they develop. And then Kansas City, you have a low chance to see up to 60 mile per hour wind gusts with any storms that make your way on through tomorrow night into early Saturday morning. And then lastly, with that cold front passage, up to 60 mile per hour gusts are possible with any storms that develop there. So after tomorrow, what's going to be going on in the world of weather? Let's take a look at our jet stream. This is sponsored by Merlin Law Group. Besides a few little disturbances here in the northern plains, there's really nothing truly exciting that's going to be going on. You can see a little bit of a zonal pattern here. It's trying to dig a bit here near the Canadian-US border. As we get into Saturday, you can see this is going to try and move off to the east a little bit, and then we have this new trough that's going to be making its way onto the western parts of the U.S. coast. And then getting into Monday, it's trying to move off to the east, but it's having a hard time doing so. So as of right now, there really aren't any big giant risks to look out for. It's just going to be those marginal areas that we've been talking about yesterday, as well as getting into today and then into tomorrow. Otherwise, it's just going to really start to heat up. That heat dome is going to be building. It's going to be hot. So make sure if you're celebrating the 4th of July, you're going to go out and see those fireworks, that you have plenty of water here in the Central Plains, because it's going to get hot. And that hot weather is going to continue as we get into Tuesday. There may be a little bit of another disturbance here as we get into Tuesday. We got to watch that. And then Wednesday, same deal. Nothing huge to talk about in terms of any big severe weather outbreaks. I think the main story, besides these marginal areas, is going to be that heat, as it's going to continue to stick around. So here is our look-ahead forecast for Saturday. We do have a few areas that we're going to be watching. The first one is going to be up here in the northern plains for the Dakotas. And then the other one is going to be here with that cold front passage from parts of central and eastern Pennsylvania all the way to Connecticut, as well as Massachusetts, all the way down to maybe as far south as Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. And then as we get into our tropics, let's take a look at our 5-day outlook here. This is sponsored by Atlas. We do have the potential to see another new storm within the next few days. We have a 40% chance of development with this system. although it should be making its way onto land within the next day or two. So will we have enough time? We'll see about that. But a 40% chance over the next 2 and 5 days with that system, and then a really low chance for this system out here in the Atlantic crossing into the Caribbean as we get into the next few days. You can see we have a really low chance to see any development with this system, only a 10% chance for the next 2 days, as well as getting into the next 5 days with that. And lastly, we do still have a potential tropical cyclone 2. It still hasn't been named yet. Once it does become named, it will be Bonnie. Hopefully within sometime today it will be named finally. I thought it would be named by now, but I guess it wants to be a little bit stubborn. So this system will continue to move off to the west as we get into the next few days. As we wake up tomorrow, it'll still be in open water, and then getting into tomorrow evening, it will possibly hit land as a stronger tropical storm, and then getting into the weekend, it will cross back out into the Pacific. So will we see Bonnie? Will it be named? I mean, hopefully within the next day or so. Like I said, I thought it would be named already, but I guess it doesn't want to be named just yet. And then, it'll continue to move off to the west as we get into Sunday. Like I said, once it does become named, it will be Bonnie, and then after that, we'll have Colin and then Danielle, and you can see all the other names here going in alternating order between male and female name, and here are the rest of the names here getting through the alphabet. So that's all I have for you today. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and also TikTok, where we do some fun and informative videos. Otherwise, follow us here on these other platforms so you don't miss any of our live videos. You never know when Mother Nature will give us a surprise hailstorm in a major city, so you don't want to miss that. And if you have any questions, concerns, if you just want to say hi, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Thursday.